Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Hello everyone and thanks for joining us. Well, first tonight, a Launceston homeless food service has been suspended for 2 weeks after the program leader was cruelly attacked in broad daylight. The cafe owner today reliving the moment he was allegedly struck with a fire extinguisher, then kicked while he lay on the ground.
Back at work on light duties, but for Paul Giddens, even simple tasks leave him in agonising pain.
I can't even bend over, so you see me before making a coffee, I couldn't bend over hardly.
Not unexpected when you're nursing 2 broken ribs and a fractured cheekbone. The Green Bean cafe owner was set upon yesterday morning after he offered a homeless man food, then asked him to stop sleeping outside his CBD business. He claims his attacker grabbed a fire extinguisher, blasting him in the face, striking him over the head. Then on the ground, he stuck the boot in.
It was a bit scary after getting really winded with this and of course having a mouthful of extinguisher and not able to breathe a bit for a minute.
A 25-year-old man has been arrested and will face court tonight. The next challenge for the husband and wife team: meticulously cleaning every inch of the cafe currently laced with extinguisher residue.
It's absolutely covered everything, fridge filters, stoves.
In a cruel irony, Paul runs a weekly food service for the less fortunate, offering a hot meal and a safe space.
They come in here, they smile, they have a bit of a laugh, they forget about life for a couple of hours. That program will be suspended for 2 weeks while he recovers. His bones broken, his spirit not. Just because one bad egg, blew it, doesn't mean the rest of them get punished for it. Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
A man accused of shooting an Invermay father after allegedly attempting to steal his car has entered a plea to 2 offences. Harley Wilmot pleaded not guilty to charges of wounding and recklessly discharging a firearm relating to the incident in April. The 22-year-old, who's currently on bail, is due to face the Supreme Court on August 30. A developer who illegally demolished an 1880s home has been hit with a further $90,000 fine. Darko Krajinovic has now been convicted and fined for the subsequent removal of heritage-listed stone footings from the Mount Stewart property. It's in addition to the $225,000 penalty he received after pleading guilty to levelling the house in February 2017. The Hobart City Council has welcomed the outcome. A man has died after suffering a medical episode while behind the wheel in the state's northeast. Police say the man had crashed and died on Mathina Road sometime before he was found and reported to authorities yesterday afternoon. He was a sole occupant of the vehicle. It's understood he was from the area. And police are urging motorists to drive to the conditions over the long weekend. Officers will be conducting high visibility and covert traffic patrols as part of Operation Safe Arrival.
Police need everyone to take road safety seriously and remember that it's not just their life on the roads when they get behind the wheel.
They're asking drivers to buckle up, pay attention and obey the speed limit. Meanwhile, the steady rain hitting eastern Tasmania is due to continue before easing on Saturday afternoon. Widespread falls of 20 to 50 millimetres have been recorded in the east, another 10 to 30 expected. A moderate flood warning remains in place for the South Esk, with a minor warning for the Macquarie and North Esk rivers. The high winds that caused widespread damage and contributed to power outages over the past few days have eased. We'll have a full weather report with Laura later this evening. The acting Prime Minister has promised works to fix clogged traffic around Midway Point will be finished by the middle of next year. But the state government is again under pressure to explain when passengers will finally be able to catch ferries on the River Derwent.
Senators, a minister and the acting Prime Minister. In drizzly Hobart, it was virtually raining politicians as the Canberra Roadshow rolled into town.
We want to make sure that people in Sorell can have access, of course, to Hobart sooner and safer, and that's what we're doing with this duplication.
Pledging the Midway Point upgrade will be finished by next year, a $46 million job to add lanes and replace a roundabout. Michael Ferguson has also been reminded of this promise for the River Derwent ferry trial.
It'll be up and running by no later than June 30, and we expect even sooner than that.
Unable to name a date today, he says the contract is nearly done.
It's in its final stages of being negotiated. As I announced earlier this year, we've got our preferred provider.
again facing attacks on the progress of Hobart's city deal, including the idle $25 million set aside for the Northern Rail corridor.
It's time for action. $25 million, they know what the problem is. Why don't they just get on and do it?
Today also saw support grants open for hard-hit East Coast businesses, cut off from the state's south, while boulders are brought down on the Tasman Highway. 61 have already put up a hand for financial help.
Whatever help is required and needed, we will continue to work with the community to provide funds for that.
A free shuttle service to Hobart has also been organised for residents. It's expected to start on June 17 from Orford. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
After almost 4 decades as a firefighter, Chris Arnold is saying farewell to the job. The Chief Officer of the Tasmania Fire Service wrapped up his career in the same place it began, welcoming the latest round of recruits to the ranks and now looking forward to what the future holds.
Finishing up in the same place he started 36 years ago, and the graduation for the latest round of recruits for the Tasmania Fire Service. A fitting way for the Chief Officer to say goodbye.
And on the day I say farewell to this organisation that has given me so much over so many years, I welcome you all.
Chris Arnold joined the TFS in 1985 and was appointed to the top job in 2016.
I couldn't think of a better finish to my career. It's a great job. If you're out there and you want to join a great job, join the fire service.
Some of his toughest challenges faced in recent years.
The most poignant fire season for me in Tasmania was the 18-19 fire season. In fact, Tasmania had its black summer a year before the rest of Australia.
He's known within the service for his light-hearted comics and sketches of his colleagues, but in recent years his artistic abilities have been more widely appreciated. Now planning to pursue his love of art in his retirement.
I'm hoping that when we kick COVID to the curb, I might be able to get to Florence and do an art school for a couple of years.
With plenty of time to brush up on his language skills.
Buongiorno and Avanti and lots of other things like vino, which is perhaps my favourite Italian word.
One of his proudest achievements in the job is bringing more career firefighters into the state's ranks than ever before. A record graduating class joining the service today.
28, 29, 30.
Set to leave behind a lasting legacy.
We'd like to pass on our skills and abilities, but we also like to pass on our shared experiences and hopefully inspire people.
It's more of a family. I know that sounds cheesy because they say the fire service is a family, but truly I have not felt so supported before.
As for the rest of his day,
I'm going to go home and take my uniform off, place it in the car and hand the keys back. I've asked if I can hang on to my helmet, so I might keep that as a memento of my service.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
3 people are expected to be prosecuted after protesters blocked a fuel terminal in Hobart early this morning. Extinction Rebellion activists targeted the Hobart Ice Liquid fuel supply entrance just after 6 a.m.
For those of you that are willing to leave now, please leave.
Police moved in to remove activists who are calling for an end to subsidies for fossil fuels. The state government has labelled the protest as reckless. $10 million is being invested in TasTafe's online systems to allow better distance teaching. The education provider says a flexible teaching model will make studying more attractive to those who live in remote areas or are time poor.
So they'll be able to access the theory components of their course online and come in ready for practical components. We've done that in a lot of areas already.
What this is about is making the learning environment as flexible as possible for our learners so that even more Tasmanians have the opportunity to participate in a TasTafe course.
From next year, 5 courses will include online learning before being expanded to TAFE's entire offering. Runners are bracing for the burn of Sunday's Launceston Running Festival. Millie Clark is among the elite field tackling the 21-kilometre half marathon. She's ready to test herself after coming off an Achilles injury at the end of last year. And for those dreading the challenge to come, she says thinking ahead is the best remedy.
I like to close my eyes and think, okay, this time in 3 hours I'll be probably sitting in a warm cafe with a coffee, with a stack of pancakes. Might not be the most enjoyable thing while you're actually out there, but if you think about the end and think about the reward at the end, it's definitely worth it. Clark's personal best in the half marathon is a lightning fast 1 hour, 10 minutes.
The festival includes 10 and 5 kilometre distances along with a 1 mile run. Mission Australia's National Chief says Tasmania's rental crisis is beginning to bite in places previously unheard of. James Toomey has been meeting with local staff as part of a tour of the state this week. He says too many families are spending more than 30% of their weekly income on rent payments, which is forcing them to forego other essential items.
Hearing stories of families where the household income is in excess of $100,000 a year and they're unable to find somewhere affordable to rent.
The organisation currently manages 500 social homes across Rugby and Clarendon Vale. Ashgrove Cheese has officially launched its new dairy door and visitor centre. The company says the redevelopment, which includes a refurbished restaurant and upgraded facilities, will create 14 jobs in the region.
This has been a concept for the last 4 years. So to actually see it come from a concept to the final stages is a really important moment for our business.
We see this as an investment. We see the returns on that investment being paid in dividends through tourism, through increased knowledge of our great provenance that we have here in Tasmania.
The development cost the company $2 million, with $620,000 coming from the federal government.
Alan Christensen is returning to Lauderdale's lineup earlier than expected after recovering from injury. The Southern Bombers are 1-8, but the former Brisbane Lions says the team's form has by and large been good.
For a lot of our young guys who haven't experienced a lot of success this year, it's probably, it'd be good for them to get a win for them.
Opponent North Launceston will welcome debutant number 17 tomorrow.
We lose Mark Walsh as well to concussion, Jack Events away, Fletcher Bennett's got exams, so there's a lot of things going into this week that we weren't prepared for, and obviously Lauderdale's always a tough trip. But again, opportunity to more guys to play in their debuts.
Brad Cox-Goodger will play this week. Alex Lee will be out injured. The captains of Glenorchy and Clarence's women's sides will temporarily put team loyalties aside to lead the SFLW in the upcoming Tri-Series. Both proud to take on their roles as they face the best of the North and Northwest over the next 2 weekends.
Clarence and Glenorchy are bitter foes, so it's rare to see their captains enjoy each other's company. Old rivalries paused as they lead the SFL into battle.
It's sunk in now and I'm really ready to move forward with the team and captain them the best I can.
It's a privilege to be vice to Bree. She's a great leader and passionate about women's footy, so yeah, I'm really excited.
It's not just a trophy on the line, with the series expected to catch the eye of AFLW recruiters.
An opportunity for the girls that may have missed out on the opportunity to be selected in state or academies for this to be their platform.
To cricket, and Tasmania's women's side has unveiled some big signings for the next WNCL season. Australian representatives Molly Strano and Elise Villani joining from Victoria, both having a special goal in mind.
But I'm also really passionate about winning, and I'd love to do that here and be a part of the first WNCL title.
I would love to be able to be part of a WNCL title down here and hopefully we can have some great success.
Teenager Hayley Silver-Holmes rounding out the new recruits, with expectations high.
I want to be winning games of cricket. I want to be having that legacy of that, we won our first ever WNCL.
Meanwhile, Launceston will host its time-honoured basketball classic this long weekend. 124 boys and girls teams will clash for the first time since the pandemic.
Our numbers this year are similar to our numbers in 2019, obviously before the pandemic, so it's just been really great to see overall.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
To local soccer, Launceston United is aiming high ahead of the upcoming statewide cup final. They made the decider after a thrilling come-from-behind win over Kingborough a few weeks ago. They're facing a tough task against Olympia Warriors, who, along with Clarence, have dominated women's soccer in recent years. However, the team is showing no sign of nerves.
I'm expecting a really challenging game, but that's exactly what you want in a final. And, if for no other reason than to test yourselves.
The match kicks off at 11:30 on Monday morning. Tasmanian Nathaniel Atkinson's return to the A-League has ended on a sour note, with Melbourne City going down to the Newcastle Jets. Atkinson came on at half-time to replace star striker Andrew Naboot, and with City down by a goal in the 90th minute, he had the chance to tie things up. But a match-winning save from Jets keeper Jack Duncan denied him, City losing 2-1. And after finally cracking the Criterium de Dauphiné in France this week, our Friday flashback is on Richie Porte's first breakthrough win. His maiden multi-stage tour victory came in 2008, none other than the Tour of Tasmania.
In a year, top athletes were bracing for the Beijing Olympics, a then record field pounded the pedals for the 2008 Tour of Tasmania. It was a shocker for Victoria's Pat Shaw, who thought he'd won the opening stage in Latrobe, only to find out he had another lap to go. Cows rushed to see the field race through Sulphur Creek, while Marist College students rushed to the Burnie Criterium. Richie Porte wasn't in the frame early on. Bernard Salzberger was the main local hope, while there was plenty of excitement around Geelong's Lee Howard. It wasn't until the ride to Penguin midway through the tour when Porte burst onto the scene. Such was his dominance, the second-place rider didn't know Porte was a kilometre ahead of the field when he crossed the line. The then 23-year-old had victory stitched up by the time the Launceston to Longford leg came, but the ascent up Powatina Hill truly sealed the win.
I pretty much came home from Italy early for this tour, for this exact stage, so to win it's just icing on the cake, really.
All that remained was the Westbury Criterium. Porte could finally pop the champagne on a maiden multi-stage race win. Success on the global stage wasn't far away. His name would be plastered across media worldwide 2 years later when the Tasmanian claimed the pink leader's jersey for 3 stages of the Giro d'Italia.
Good evening. Another grey, rainy day for the east, south and central parts of the state. 13 in Hobart today, Launceston 17, Devonport 18, Burnie with the state's top of 20 degrees shared with Wynyard. 17 at Strawn, Low Head and King Island reached 16, Bushy Park 15, Flinders Island, St Helens and the Friendly Beaches all 14. Cloud blanketing the east and south today with partly cloudy conditions about the north, west. A cloud band around a low off the coast of New South Wales today, patchy cloud over southern WA and parts of Queensland. Tomorrow's chart and a complex low will move to the east of Tasmania. A weak high will move over eastern parts. Coastal waters and south to southwesterly winds at 15 to 25 knots, swells to 2 to 3 metres. A moderate flood warning is current for the South Esk, a minor flood warning for the Macquarie and North Esk rivers and a flood watch for river basins in the eastern half of the state. Saturday's forecast, rain for Hobart and 15, Medina, rain at times and 14, 13 and rain for Oatlands. A cloudy day for Launceston, 17, Devonport fine and 17 also, a shower and 10 for Lyawini. Burnie mostly sunny and 17, Strawn 15, a possible shower for Marrawar 14. Rain for St Helens and Swansea 16, Orford rain and 15. Looking ahead to Sunday, fine about the north, showers elsewhere. Monday, showers about the north, cloudy elsewhere with possible light showers. And Tuesday, showers for the north, once again, cloudy elsewhere. Capital cities tomorrow, Melbourne, a shower and 16. Perth, showers easing in 19, a cloudy 17 for Adelaide. Brisbane 22, Sydney 19, Darwin sunny and 31. And right now it's 13 in Hobart, 14 in Launceston. Devonport sitting on 15. Kim, that's the weather.
Thank you very much, Laura, and that is your news for now. Have a great long weekend. I'll see you again Monday. Good night.